You know, what if the single biggest mistake we're all making in big conversations has nothing to do with what we say, but everything to do with how we listen? We're about to dive into the world of negotiation, and we're going to challenge a core belief that holds so many people back, this idea that empathy is somehow a weakness.
Okay, so let's be honest. Most of us, when we walk into a negotiation, we're geared up for a fight, right? We see it as a battle, a zero-sum game, where someone wins and someone loses. But what if we're playing the wrong game entirely? What if it's not a battle at all, but more like a puzzle we're trying to solve together? Just that one little shift in how you see it, well, it changes absolutely everything.
Because think about it, in a battle, showing empathy feels like you're leaving your flank wide open. It's like you're just inviting the other side to take advantage of you, a critical mistake that could cost you the whole thing. Or at least, that's what we've always been taught.
And that leads us to the big question here. What if that piece of common wisdom isn't just a little bit off, but is the very thing that's actually stopping us from getting what we really want? So let's just get this out on the table, because it's the key to this whole thing. Empathy is not about being nice, it's not about agreeing with the other person, and it is definitely not about giving up what you want just to keep the peace.
So what is it then? Well, it's about something called strategic empathy. And I want you to think of yourself as a detective here. Your job is to gather intelligence. You're trying to build a complete picture of their world, their perspective. It's all about figuring out their motivations, their pressures, their fears. You're digging for the crucial why behind what they're saying.
And that is exactly why it's not a weakness, it's your secret weapon. Strategic empathy gives you this incredible 360-degree view of the situation while everyone else is just stuck looking at it from their own single point of view. It is honestly the closest thing you can get to a superpower in a conversation.
So how do you actually use this superpower? It's really a four-step process, and it all starts with the most fundamental thing, truly listening. And I don't mean just waiting for your turn to talk. I mean listening for the emotion behind the words. When you do that, you can start to understand their why, and that helps you uncover the hidden needs and maybe even the fears that they aren't saying out loud. And only then, once you have that full picture, can you start to adjust your own approach.
And look, when you start to follow this process, the results aren't just theoretical. They're not just nice to have. They are tangible, they are measurable, and they can completely change the entire vibe and, more importantly, the outcome of any negotiation.
So here's what happens when you start with understanding. First, all that adversarial tension in the room just starts to melt away. When people feel truly heard, and that's a fundamental human need, by the way, you almost instantly build a foundation of trust. And because you have that trust, the agreements you make aren't fragile. They're durable because they solve the real problems for both sides, not just the surface-level stuff.
And this brings us to the ultimate payoff. See, this isn't about choosing between being empathetic or getting what you want. It's about realizing that the most direct, most effective path to getting your goals is by first understanding theirs. You're not giving in, you're just getting smarter.
You've probably heard this quote before from Stephen Covey, and it just perfectly captures this whole philosophy. The sequence is everything. You have to seek to understand first. That's what lays the groundwork for you to then be understood in a way that's actually powerful and persuasive.
So if there's just one thing you take away from all this, let it be this. Stop thinking of empathy as some kind of optional, nice, soft skill. It's not. It's the very cornerstone of strategic negotiation. It's the foundation of the whole building. So, we've laid out the power of strategic empathy. The real question now is, what are you going to do with it? Think about your next important conversation. How will you use this superpower to not only get what you want, but to build stronger, more lasting connections while you're at it?